Hi, welcome here in Salzburg in Austria at the Geopathic Academy. This is where we train doctors, therapists, builders, architects and anybody else interested in how to measure for, assess and consult on radiation exposure in the home and how to properly address that. Now, one of the things we teach people is excesses of natural radiation, which is referred to as geopathic stress. We've got a couple of video images made on our training site in the terrain behind me that kind of show you how those dynamics work. So that might be good to have a look at. Another phenomena is ground mixing or tectonic disturbances. I explained to you earlier the dynamics of a fault line where because of pressure a shift occurs and then you've got different metals of minerals opposite of one another with groundwater in the middle and you get that energy being generated. Now with a fault line that's fairly localized because it's really pretty much just on that crack, right? So with ground mixing what has basically happened is that those layers in the soil, in the ground, as they get pushed up and sometimes you see that on the side of the road and they're all diagonal, at some points if they got pushed further and further they would start falling over and all these metals and minerals from all these different layers would start mixing through. So now instead of having a localized area, you've got a massive area where all these metals and minerals are turned over and mixed through one another. Now this could be, let's say, a kilometer wide and 30 kilometers long. You often find it at the foothills of mountains. And this phenomenon is measurable as well. You could put a probe in one side, probe in the other side, and you can measure how much electricity is between those probes. Here in Salzburg, the entire top of Salzburg here is actually one big ground mixing phenomena. So there's a standard amount of geopathic stress that people are constantly living under. So anyway, we've again got some video footage that makes it a little bit more visible. So let's go and have a look, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so here we've got something else, also on the geovital training site. Here we've got the kind of gentle sloping of rocks. But then kind of at this point the structure of the ground starts to change. You see there's all more smaller chunks, smaller rocks all kind of mixed through. Now when these different layers of metals and minerals in the ground, when they get pushed up, and for example glaciers push these things together, that's how mountains get pushed up. Now these layers can at some point be vertical, they're pushed up, they're horizontal, and at some point they'll start falling over and all these metals and minerals will start mixing through. Now you've got this mixture of metals and minerals on a much larger scale. And so again that energy is created with groundwater, and this can affect an entire area. For example, Salzburg, where Geopathic Academy is, that whole area is one big area of ground mixing where this is going on. Okay, now what is unique about this site is that here we actually have an edge of this ground mixing. Normally it's kilometers wide, kilometers long, it's a really big phenomena. So you're very unlikely to, for example, somebody's house, find exactly the edge of ground mixing. But this training site is very unique that it does happen to be here as well. So students can also find the edge of ground mixing here. Okay, well that was it for the videos. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe it's given you a little bit more of an insight into this issue of geopathic stress. It all sounds a little bit airy-fairy, and I was certainly in that field when I first started being a pilot myself. I'm a little bit of a logical thinker, but it's really not that difficult to understand. You just need somebody to explain a concept to you. So anyway, if you were interested in learning more, we are always looking to expand our network. We're running English courses here in Salzburg now. We're running English courses, of course, in other countries as well. So please register your interest, give us a call, and we'd be delighted to see you. And perhaps you could join us in helping people. That would be great. Thanks.